hit the like and subscribe. Here we have the embattled Paul George in the video that I promised was coming. 2 points in 37 minutes, 1 of 7 from the field. I know he's dealing with some injuries, but what do you expect from an aging wing? He's 34 years old right now. You signed him for 4 years. You got 4 more years of this. Because ain't nobody trading for that contract. Maybe the last year of it. Bronny James outplayed him. 9 points in 8 minutes. So we got to do a wellness check on our fans, our fellow Hoops fans in Philadelphia. Let's see what they think of Paul George. So we have our friend here, Run It Back Philly. Go ahead and like, subscribe his videos. As you can see, he's racking up the subscribers every night. Let's listen to what he has to say about this Nets game.
I didn't know what I was going to see coming into this game with Maxey and Embiid being out and Paul George already being the fraud that I think he is. But he came into this game and he did not give a fuck at all. He did not care. I almost believe that Podcast P was mad that he had to play in this game because Maxey and Embiid got to sit out, and he was just like, oh, well, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? I'll just jog around and shoot a couple jumpers and fuck off. Like that makes more sense than him going out there and doing this while trying. He went out there and he did not try from the start of the game. He did not assert himself. He didn't even try to get to a shot in the entire first half. He didn't even try to get to a shot. He was just getting the ball in the perimeter, swinging it to the next guy, or he was taking a dribble into the lane and kicking it back out. He wanted no parts of scoring in this game. He did not give a fuck from the jump. And that is embarrassing. That is a disgusting level of effort. But to be paid this amount of money and to come out here and do that, that's a fireable offense, bro. That is, I mean, I don't know how. I feel like you could sue Paul George for half the money in his contract and show this game in a courtroom, and the judge will be like, yeah, you know what? He owes half of that money back because that isn't what he signed on the dotted line.
I feel there's 150 people in here, only 25 likes. Hit the like button on my videos, please. Anyway, Paul George, when he put up the performances that he put up in that playoff series against the Dallas Mavericks last year, the Dallas Mavericks shouldn't even made the NBA Finals last year. Why? Because they should have lost to us. We had enough talent to beat the Dallas Mavericks last year. I know Kawhi coming in and out of the lineup for games, 2 and 3, and then being out the rest of the series hurt them. But Paul George didn't even try, bruh. He didn't even try. So that's the guy you signed for 4 years. $200+ million. That's what you got. Gonna be 38 years old when that contract is done. Knock it off, man. Let's get back into a little bit more of this and we'll go to someone else.
All the way down to the final possession of the game. Down 4, he has the ball in the perimeter. He passed it to Justin Edwards. He didn't even want the last shot. I have never seen that low of an effort and that little care blatantly by an NBA player in 20 plus years of watching the game. I've seen Ben Simmons be scared. I've seen Joel Embiid get shut out by a Toronto Raptors defense, but while being triple teamed. I've seen James Harden look like he was trying, but he was just out of shape and couldn't jump anymore. I've seen some terrible performances. But that was the worst one I've ever seen in 20 plus years of watching this game. Because it was against the 19 and 34 Brooklyn Nets and he flat out did not give a fuck from the start and wasn't afraid to show everyone that he doesn't give a fuck. This is disgusting from a player being paid that much money, and this is offensive to the NBA fan overall, and this is offensive to Sixers fans specifically. Every Sixers fan in the building needs to boo this guy for the rest of the year for what they just witnessed. This guy, Philly needs to start giving it to this guy now. Because you can't let him get away with that. You can't let a player sign a max contract and come out here and give that level of effort and not give a fuck if it's obvious or not. He's not even trying to make it look like he's trying. You can't let him get away with that.
I think we've heard enough. I think we understand where my man running back Sixers or running back Philly. I think we understand where he's coming from. I told y'all when he signed that contract, that podcast gonna be a problem, and his effort level was gonna be a problem. You play in the city of Philadelphia, brother, you better bring it every night. Every night. And if you don't, these people, they tried to run Jalen Hurts out of town. And the head coach just won a Super Bowl, right? So yeah, nah, they don't play the nonsense. It is a blue collar city. On to the next person. So here we have the crew from Locked On 76ers. Kayla Santiago, who is the sideline reporter for the 76ers G League team, and Keith Pompey, who is a 76ers beat writer. Let's get straight into it.
We're going to start right off the bat with Paul George having a huge opportunity to showcase how he can implement his scoring on the offensive game plan. No Joel Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey. Sixers fall to the Nets 100-96. Keith, he had 2 points in the game. It is crazy to even say that out loud.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You know, and then Kayla, you're right. This is the game, like before the game started. I mean, we knew that Joel Embiid wasn't going to play like earlier in the day. You had an idea he wasn't going to play yesterday based on how relaxed he was in the locker room, and he just didn't seem like he was in the rush to hop on the train with the team to come up there to New York, come up here to New York. And then you hear about Maxey not playing, and you're saying to yourself, okay, you know, Paul George never got the ball the way that he wanted to. He basically said, he admitted that it's like a struggle right now, adjusting the plan to Joel. And you look at it, and this is going to be the game where he's just going to go off. And in the first quarter, you know, the first half rather, Paul George had 0 points on 0 for 2 shooting, right? Actually, it ended up being 0 for 3. And he ended up with 2 points on 1 for 7 shooting. Now, he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and 3 turnovers, right? And 30-plus minutes. And the last shot of the game, he passed it up and passed it to Justin Edwards, who missed it. You know, Paul, to me, I looked at it like, dude, this is your time to be the man. And there was times where you looked at it, his shot, he missed shots. There was times where it felt like he couldn't get past people. But again, you have to continue to be aggressive. Now, when you talk to Paul after the game and you ask him what happened, and he says, they just blitzed me anytime I had the ball. Whenever it was in pick and roll, or whether it was in pick and roll, or whether I had it up top, he said, I tried to just counter with playing through my teammates, try to make the game easy. We got good shots for the most part. It just wasn't enough shots made. Now, Kelly Oubre had 30. Quentin Grimes had 30. However, in my opinion, this was a game where Paul George was supposed to take over. He did distribute the rock like he said to people, and he did do certain things. But Nick Nurse even attributes that, like even agrees that there were certain times where PG had some shots and he passed them up. But
I'm going to cut you off there, Keith Pompey. The reason why Paul George didn't do the things that you believe he should have done is because he don't want it. He's not hungry. The great Marvin Hagler said it's hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping in silk bed sheets. Paul George has been sleeping in silk bed sheets for the better part of the last decade. He ain't hungry. What he did with us last year, an efficient year, was to get his contract, was to convince some stupid team that he's healthy enough and still good enough to be worthy of a max contract. And he done fleeced the doggone Philadelphia 76ers into giving him that. That's what we're seeing right now. Yeah? Paul George ain't got it no more. He's washed. And he knows it. You saw that pathetic playoff performance that he put up against the Dallas Mavericks. We should have won that series with a Paul George playing at the top of his game. If Paul George gives us what he gave us in the regular season, we beat the Dallas Mavericks. He couldn't even do that. He had a good game and a half out of 6. That should have been the red flag. He don't have the desire to do it.
They didn't. And you know what's interesting too, because Paul George, at some point in your career, when you had some accolades and your playoff P at some point, the main thing that you probably want to walk away with is an NBA championship. And when you look at it, Paul George clearly came to Philly not just only for that, but also the money. But you think maybe he would come and, try to implement his game a little bit more, play better, especially when those two guys are out, because the last thing he probably wants to do through his career is win an NBA championship. But he might have just came over to Philadelphia for the money at this point. I know that's a big factor in it. But at the same time, you have an opportunity to go out there and get your team a must-needed win, and you don't do anything. You're relying on Quentin Grimes and Kelly Oubre, and no disrespect to those guys, to win you a basketball game when you are on the floor. It's just inexcusable for Paul George, and I don't know how many more excuses Nick Nurse and even PG can make at that point as well, because what are you talking about at this point in your career? You were blitzed, you were double teamed, you couldn't get open, you couldn't make shots. Come on now. It's the Nets we're talking about. It was just a bad performance all around. And Keith, you said it early on too on your Twitter.
No, you said it earlier, Kayla. He did it for the money. Paul George don't care nothing about winning no championships. He didn't want to play at no doggone Philadelphia. He wanted to stay with us. He wanted to fleece us for either a 4-year contract or 3 years, $150 with a no trade clause. And the Clippers told him to get to step in. What kind of fool are you? We ain't doing it. Go see what you can get elsewhere. And he got it from a desperate team and a desperate general manager, desperate team president in Elton Brand, the disgraced former Los Angeles Clipper that he is. He found it in them. And now y'all got another 3.5 years to deal with it. I feel sorry for the people that cover this team. Feel sorry for the fan base. Don't feel sorry for the player or the team. Here we have the Sixers postgame show, and I didn't check, but I believe it's former coach Jim Lynam, if I'm not mistaken. He's coached back in the day. You see the glorious game from Paul George, 2 points, 1 for 7 from the field. He's about to give his opinion. Let's get into it.
And there's no other way to say, but Paul George, you simply need more baskets from him. I know he had a tough shooting night. Well, 1 field goal.
One basket.
Yeah. When you're without Embiid and you're without Tyrese Maxey, 2 points. The other, good 6 rebounds, get some assists, yes, but bottom line, you need his point production.
Yeah, he took 7 shots, 0 for 5. You mentioned it was just over 24% from 3. Paul George really struggled in this one. The numbers show it, but the eye test also shows it. Turnovers, bad shot selection, I know, obviously, good defense on him, but not the best defense. This is the Brooklyn Nets, Mark Jackson. They just picked up their 20th win of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amy. They played tremendous defense versus the Sixers, but not enough to shut down a perennial all-star. 1 for 7 shooting. Did they double him like right here? They played some good things. They did some good things, but I said it last night. No team can stop a guy one-on-one. You know, a guy has to be willing to accept being stopped. And like right here, look at this. That was a good double team though. But like, where's the bailout? Where's the guys? I thought guys was in position to receive the outlet pass. It just didn't happen, and that's how it was all night.
36.5 minutes, Coach. 1 field goal. Do you think there's something going on with him? We know he had the pinky issue, and obviously, you know, he had some other issues to start the season. I mean, I'm trying to look for a reason that a guy that's a 9-time All-Star has one field goal.
Yeah, I wish I could explain it. I would say 2 things. 3 of those turnovers you just saw were results of double teams. And I think that's kind of a sign that teams are playing him aggressively. But he has to respond to that, even if it means like taking less than what would be deemed a real good shot. So you got to take a couple bad shots, so be it. But when your team is undermanned to this degree, there's no question. I mean, he's one of the best scorers obviously left in your lineup, and he just has to go out and try to create shots. That means you get...
Coach, let me cut you off. He's washed. That's what's the problem. He don't want it. He don't want it. And, you know, from what you saw there in the clips, they were trapping him off the double team. Or excuse me, they were trapping him off the screens. So there's ways to, you know, navigate that if you really want to. Right? The Brooklyn Nets stink. He went out there, like some of our other people have said in earlier parts of this video, he don't want it. He don't want it. He don't care anymore. He got his paper. He noticed his last big contract. Could be his last contract. He know he's done. On to the next. So here we have a gentleman here from the podcast called Eat, Sleep, Sixers. Let's listen to what they got to say.
See, I see what you did.
Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Sixers. It's your boy Sixers fan for life and BG in the building. Paul George, Pinky Paul had a whopping 2 points, bro. A whopping 2 points, bro.
How many?
1 + 1 equals how much?
I can't wait for
1 + 1, bro. This man played 37 minutes. He's a max player. I can't even give him the peanut butter and jelly treatment, bro. I can't. Because peanut butter and jelly wasn't getting paid max money. I mean, I should be giving him worse, right? Because he's getting paid max. He should get a worse treatment, right?
That's the biggest part of it, is the fact that this, like, we maxed him out. And he just had a
For
deuce.
what?
He had a goose egg at halftime and ended the game with a deuce. Jose,
Yo, how you play 37 minutes
and have a deuce, nigga?
And have a deuce, bro.
Let me finish sharing.
How, Sway? How? How you had 2 points in 37 minutes?
He had 2, dog.
I don't know how, like, honestly, I don't know how Kelly Oubre keeps his composure, man, with this nonsense. I really don't. Shout out to Quentin Grimes, man.
Seriously, Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, shout out to Quentin Grimes, man. We would have won. Them flowers going to him on my part. You know, coming out of nowhere and giving us a 30 bomb. You know what I'm saying? But damn, bro. we played the Brooklyn Nets. They suck just as bad as the Sixers, bro. You feel me? They barely scraped 100. My over and unders and bold predictions were out of pocket.
So you have their thoughts. 37 pathetic minutes of basketball. I don't want to hear about Pinky P's finger. We've had guys play with broken fingers. Caron Butler played basketball for the Clippers with a broken hand. Kobe Bryant infamously played with bad fingers. Eric Gordon did the same thing for the Clippers many years ago as well. I don't want to hear about, and this is non-shooting hand. Not like it was a shooting hand, it's non-shooting hand. So yeah, man, I don't want to hear that nonsense. I did fast forward a little bit in this just to see what else they might have had to say, but I don't have the bandwidth for it right now. But I saw this comment here. It says, from Teacher Got Game. PG stealing money and I hope his wife don't give him any cookie. He don't deserve it, brother. She's a stripper. Oh, well, former stripper. He done got her out the strip club. So I can promise you, brother, she gonna give it up. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about Pinky P. Hyperextended knee P. Podcast P. Underperforming P. Whatever you want to call him. B-Team P. What do you think about his performance with the Sixers thus far? Are we being too hard on him? Or do we need to step our fandom up, especially as Clipper fans, step our fandom up and grind on them some more? Pause. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm out.